together with our colleagues at CNRS to have this meeting here. It's the first of many where we get to meet and have scientific, discuss issues around our scientific interests and get to see what we can do as we advance science and innovation cooperation, not just in Kenya, but in the region and the continent, leveraging the networks that we have, but also encouraging scientific cooperation and exchanges within Africa and with the rest of the world. The idea for ARISE was conceptualized thanks to an existing arrangement between the African Union member states and the EU member states, what we call the AU-EU High-Level Policy Dialogue on STI. ARISE is a program that supports research in all fields of scholarship. We have, among the 47 today, we have people working on mental health, all the way to quantum computing and genomics and those other serious things that I cannot pronounce. But the idea is leveraging the support that we have from our partners. We want to try and support people in the basic sciences, but also the applied side of things, leveraging transdisciplinarity and the need for us to, different disciplines to speak to each other and see if we can achieve greater impact together.
The ARISE, which stands for the African Research Initiative for Scientific Excellence, it's dedicated to build research capacity, to strengthen the capacity in Africa. So it's not a cooperative or collaborative partnership between Europe and Africa. It's to help Africa set up its own Pan-African research program, competitive program, to support, to retain, to attract scientists to work in Africa.
The goal of this event is to create a cycle of conference where we create the condition for scientific encounters between French researchers of the CNRS, which is a big institution in France. And then one aspect of this encounter today was to create the condition of scientific encounter between researchers who are more focused on applied science or science as it is made in Africa, fitting with questions that are referring to society's question, and how we connect with basic science, which is the roots of any kind of science.
So the first cohort of ARISE grantees, there are 47 young scientists from Africa, from actually 38 different countries all over Africa. What we wanted with this event is help them consolidate this work, develop strong cooperation with other teams in Europe, and also help them prepare for the next phase. And that's why we're also happy to have the presence of the National Research Fund from Kenya, because they can see how these people have grown as leaders, young leaders in this field, and they need to be able to support them and to retain them so they're not tempted to go elsewhere.
Part of the problem for Africa is the financial outlay for science. So funding science in Africa has been a challenge, so our scientists have to compete for international opportunities out there. But what the ARISE grant has done was to bring some of that funding to Africa so that our scientists are able to compete amongst themselves here in Africa. But apart from just the competition, making sure that the funds are available for the scientists to use for their research. And what the ARISE grant does is that it gives you the opportunity to purchase laboratory equipment so that instead of shipping your materials abroad, out of Africa for analysis and for your research, you can actually do the analysis here in Africa with the equipment that you've purchased through the ARISE grants.
So when you talk about plastic pollution, it's a big menace. Reason being, worldwide, there's immense production of plastics, which leads to generation of plastic waste. So over the years, researchers have shown that of the plastic waste generated, only 9% is recycled, 12% is incinerated, and the remaining 79% is disposed in landfills. And it's projected that by 2050, we'll actually have more than 12 billion tons of plastic waste in the landfills. This means that we are potentially going to have more plastic in the ocean than the fish. And of the plastics that is generated, it emanates from the factories, like the packaging industries, as well as the building sectors.
This project has been very instrumental for me because it has helped me in setting up a lab, especially in the Department of Chemistry, getting to do basic things in terms of how to make materials, getting the equipment for it, how to analyze them, paying for the characterization, training students. Through the program, I've been able to train students to supervise PhD and master students, not only in Nairobi but also in other universities. It has also helped me in visibility because through the program I've been able to attend workshops and conferences in the science arena and be visible to other researchers. And also the project I'm working on is addressing an issue that affects the society. So through the project I'll be able to develop a product that can be used in the village, for example, to monitor a pollutant, like a dye in water or a heavy metal in water or an antibiotic in water.
So there are many reasons for the CNRS to open an office in Africa and especially in Kenya. We have one office in Pretoria in South Africa, which is managing this part of the continent, but there was no regional office of the CNRS in East Africa, West Africa and Central Africa. The thing is that first, Africa is on the move in terms of geopolitical movement, and for the CNRS it was important to give a meaningful shift with the past. It means the relationship with African scientists and French scientists was mainly focusing in West Africa. By settling in Nairobi, we want to give a new incentive in the partnership for Africa. And ARISE is a program in which we find really the leader for African science for tomorrow. It means it is very important to connect, for the CNRS to connect with this kind of, we call it in French, vivier, or team of researchers to develop collaboration, because it is the future of science.